Hey guys, Unlocked here. Welcome back. So I wanted to run through the mindset on some of the relationships we have in our life and how to categorize our time and how we spend time with these people so that we can maximize our goals and our family legacy. So I like to call this family legacy and family leisure. So as you probably notice, especially with holidays coming around, we're flying to Spain, me and my wife, to spend time with our family, with my family in Spain and my son and all that. You probably notice a lot of times we spend time with people just because we feel like we owe it to them, because people are nice to us, they're in our family, or maybe they're just close friends, and we almost feel like we owe them time. Not always it's productive. Typically family leisure, it ends up being a lot of, repeating the same stories over and over from the past, and, careful to not have a new story, careful to not advance so much, because then people kind of like gang up against you, right? It's kind of funny. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I've noticed how prioritizing time and prioritizing our goals, our family goals, is what has helped us advance so much in other areas of life. And sometimes it just involves saying no to people that, care for you and you care. And I think that is okay. So if you're in a position where, hey, I feel like I get very, like I have a career, or I have a family, or maybe I'm really focused on my career, or I'm really focused on whatever, and you feel a little stretched, then the little free time you get, you feel like it keeps getting pulled by sources that not always, like, it's okay for some reason. If you want to spend your day off at home, like recharging, watching TV, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to actually spend time with whoever feels like they need to spend time with you. And so again, I realize that our calendar, there's only so much bandwidth that you have to spend time with people. So we like to prioritize our goals as a family. We like to prioritize our future. So me and my wife, we have a son, we have another one on the way. And I noticed that we have to actually prioritize who we're spending time with. So we kind of classify people into 3 different categories, and I'll kind of explain that and go from there. The first one is immediate families. Like level 1 of relationships for us would be like immediate family, which is obviously, wife and kids. Nobody else is in this category, right? So we prioritize time, obviously, around immediate family. Second, level 2 of relationships would be your blood family and then your chosen family. And so blood family, of course, you wouldn't be in this world. We wouldn't be in this world if it wasn't for my grandma, my parents, etc. And then your chosen family could be maybe people at work, or maybe a mentor. It could be your pastor. It really could be a close friend that not necessarily is blood family, but you kind of chosen to spend time with and spend a lot of time in your life with. We prioritize these relationships after our immediate family. So like, there could be a situation, for example, my son, for the first time, we're flying to Spain where he's going to be able to meet my grandmother. So like, it's really like, it's a great grandma for my son. I never had a great grandma. Like, I never met mine. And so we want to prioritize trying to get them to spend time together. And we think that's it's a good thing to do. But then you have chosen family. And a lot of times, me spending time with chosen family can actually help me accomplish my goals. And then level 3, by the way, the relationship number 3 is really everybody else, right? So you have immediate family, you have blood family, and then chosen family, and then everybody else. But you could have a cousin that's level 3 because they don't really help you advance to your goal. So the first thing you need to know is, what's my goal? What's our goal? What's my situation? What's my focus in life? And am I hanging out with so-and-so person? Is it helping me advance in this life? And I think, like I said, a lot of times people say yes to hanging out just because we either feel like we owe it, it's uncomfortable to say no, but we're not really prioritizing our family time, our family legacy, sorry. So when you think about this, your family might say something, especially around holiday time, they might say something to you like, well, you're spending a lot of time in that job, and you're not spending, you're spending so much time in your career, or you're spending so much time with your business, and you're not spending time with family. And nobody normally asks like, well, what is that? Hey, mom, dad, or hey, family person, does spending time, is that what to you means family time? Is it actually just spending time? And they're like, well, yeah. And for me, for example, I remember going to Spain. I spent 3 years in the US without going back to Spain for Christmas or for any holidays, because first of all, I didn't have any money, and I had a regular job. I didn't have time. And I remember going back to Spain, and like my second day, I'm there just on the couch because my parents are doing their thing. They're going out to, get a drink, or maybe they're hanging out on the couch or watching a movie. And I realized I would prefer not to be doing any of those things, but for them, that's family time, even though there's actually no time being spent together as I would think so. And so I realized, my 1 week trip could have been a 3-day trip, and that would have accomplished the same mission. And for me, that was better, and I would be more focused. Sometimes, hanging out with your cousin or with a person that maybe you used to be very close with that is no longer in a path where their goals kind of match yours, that person could almost move to level 3, even though they're technically blood family, because they're very far from, kind of helping your family legacy advance. And I really think if you're not a person that is prioritizing the advancement, the progress, the improvement of your goals and your family or future family, if you don't have one now, then no one's going to really do it. So I don't think there's more value in one relationship more than another, but I do want to prioritize and not really fool myself and look at who I spend time with. I could be spending time with somebody that's maybe a work person or somebody that I mentor or somebody that is a mentor to me, way more time than with my family. And why? Because that helps me get closer to my family legacy. So for example, to me, it actually means I am looking out for my family when I'm spending a whole weekend at a conference learning from a mentor of mine versus spending a whole weekend at home watching TV with my mom that wants to watch the same Christmas movie every year. Nothing wrong with it. But for me in my head, actually spending time with my mentor away from my family physically that weekend actually advances my family legacy more than spending time, some chill, relaxed time for a Christmas holiday or for our whatever holiday. And I think the number one problem a lot of people run into is they don't know how to say no. They either feel ashamed, embarrassed, or they just feel like they owe the other family member or person time just because they have asked or because of a relationship in the past. And I don't think that matters so much. And I would encourage anybody that maybe feels like you might feel like you spend your whole day off. Maybe you're focused on your career a lot. You have very little time off. You have maybe one day off a week and you have to spend it with people that you don't really necessarily, you don't like what they do anymore. Maybe they used to go drinking. You don't drink anymore. And you kind of like don't want to do it, but you feel bad. So you end up doing it, or you end up going, or even worse, you end up drinking a little bit more again because they do it. And it's interesting. Like there's a view against like spending time. Maybe you want to just vegetate on your couch all day for a day off and do nothing. And that is not necessarily a bad thing, and I think people they don't really prioritize relationships in their life. And for me and my wife, has helped tremendously to have those 3 levels of relationships: immediate family, blood family, and chosen family, and then everybody else, so that we can see, hey, if we're going to go out for a weekend, if we're going to spend time with somebody, if we're going to invite somebody to our home, like how much of a priority it is. Because for me, spending time with my mentor is going to be probably ahead of spending time with, a cousin I haven't talked to in 4 years. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think maybe a family person would say that that's wrong, but I actually am looking out for my family. I'm looking out for my goals, and I think that matters. So if you're somebody that's in a position like that, I encourage you to make a list, and you don't have to announce this list to people. You don't want to go to your uncle and say, hey, you're level 3 to me. Don't do that. But you do want to, I would encourage you to it'll create, by the way, some freedom in your mind, and it'll create some support mentally. It'll be mental health, right? It's hey, my time goes in this order to these people. And it gets easier the more you've classified people into these levels of relationships, because immediate family, if you're married or if you have a spouse or a significant other, they don't need 50 hours a week like your job might. But again, it's the priority around it. So if you're married, you want to have a date night every week, probably. You want to put boundaries around this date night, because even date night is only 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. It's only 1, 2 evenings a week. It is important that other things don't overpower it. And it's important to put boundaries around it and protect it. Why? Because it's level 1. It's your number 1 level of relationship. So then everything else should go after that, even though everything else might take more time, more hours. So I think about it, and I look at a lot of people that don't have much going on, but they feel like they seem to never have time. And I think this could help a lot. So hopefully that helps.